Thank you for listening to ShulchanAruch.com.
Is it permitted to use Maaser money for the sake of purchasing Kaparos? So, Kanai Nahara, we have big families, many little children, sometimes a pregnant wife or mother. And as per the custom of take one chicken per family member, it can end up being a lot of chickens. And the price of chickens aren't always very cheap. And the question comes up, may you use your Maaser funds for the sake of funding this Kaparos ceremony of atonement? So in general, we find a machlekes amongst the poskim as to whether Maaser money is meant to be used specifically for poor people, for paupers, or if it can even be used for the sake of purchasing a mitzvah. And the final ruling is to be lenient that you are allowed to use Maaser money for the sake of a mitzvah, even though it's not going to a pauper's table. However, only if certain conditions are met. Those conditions are as follows. Number one, the mitzvah is voluntary and not obligatory. And number two, that you really can't afford right now so much to purchase this voluntary mitzvah. However, if you have more than enough money and just trying to use up the Maaser funds, why not? Let's save a few bucks. Or if the mitzvah is an obligation, such as to shake lulav and esrig, then you're not allowed to use Maaser funds to purchase it. And you have to budget yourself in a way that you'll be able to purchase these items without your Maaser funds. Based on this introduction, let's now analyze the law regarding Kaparos. Is Kaparos a voluntary mitzvah, or is it an obligatory mitzvah? So one thing's for certain, if you can afford it, without dipping into your Maaser savings, Maaser funds, then you're not allowed to use the Maaser funds to purchase the Kaparos, as you lose the second condition. However, what if you're tight for money? You're tight, it's the Chagim, it's the festivals, you're not a millionaire, and it'll be helpful if you can use the Maaser funds to help subsidize the Kaparos costs. So that's when we have to analyze, is the mitzvah voluntary or obligatory? So although Kaparos is a minhag, recorded in the Rishonim, that does not carry a biblical or rabbinical status, nonetheless, since it's a minhag sheneskabil b'chol tfutzis Yisrael, a custom that's been accepted for many generations amongst the Jews, therefore it has an obligatory status. A debate if you're doing chickens or doing money, but everyone does Kaparos. So seemingly based on this, if it's an obligatory custom, you're not allowed to use Maaser funds even in a time of need to help fund or subsidize the Kaparos. However, in truth, there's a machlekes in the poskim, as records the Alter Rebbe in chapter 605, halacha 3, regarding if you must take one chicken per family member, or it suffices to take one male chicken for all male family members and one female chicken for all female family members. And the final ruling, as the Alter Rebbe records in the Siddur, is like the former approach to take one chicken per person in the family. Nonetheless, the Achreinim record, the Matei Ephraim, the Mishnah Berurah, that if you can't afford it, you can follow the second approach and take one male for all the male family members and one female for all the female family members. Based on this, we can summarize now the halacha of whether the person who can't afford it so much is a bit tight, if we can use Maaser money to subsidize his Kaparos expenses, and the answer is as follows. To do the minimum mitzvah for yourself of getting yourself a chicken, or even if you're using money, that you cannot use Maaser money for. As we said, it's an obligatory custom, and so rules the El Yerab in 605.6 in the name of the Shlah, and so records the Matei Ephraim in 605.10 in the Mishnah Berurah there in 605. However, when you're doing above the minimum obligation and already entering into the chumrah of the first approach we mentioned, to get one chicken per family member, then for that extra hiddah you are allowed to use Maaser money to fund if you need to. And thus, when we're discussing an individual, he may not use Maaser money to fund his Kaparos. When we're discussing a family, then a single male and a single female chicken may not be bought using Maaser money, but all the rest of them may be purchased with Maaser money if necessary, being that the additional one per person is, as we said, only a chumrah and not an actual obligation. May Hashem inscribe each and every member of Klal Yisrael with much wealth, that this question will not become applicable to anyone in Mirza Hashem.
Thank you for listening to ShulchanAruch.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at shulchanaracharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.